This is the best moments of the BBQ Central Show in 10 minutes or less. Ever wish you could re-listen to your favorite interview or segment? Do you enjoy hearing older shows for the first time in years? Then the best moments of the BBQ Central Show in 10 minutes or less is just what you need. Thanks for listening and enjoy the show.
Welcome to the best moments of the BBQ Central Show in 10 minutes or less. I'm your host, Jon Solberg, and today I get to take you back to July 10th, 2012. Dave Bosca of Butcher Barbecue is in. It's a great episode to get to know Dave a little bit better, as well as get some insight into the beef processing industry in general. We're going to get to Dave in just a minute, but first, let's check in with Joey Chestnut, competitive eater, and find out about his tactics and strategies for eating a lot of hot dogs.
Well, he didn't. He's there.
Hello, this is Joey.
Joey.
Yes.
There he is. Joey Chestnut, the hot dog eating champion. Joe, you're almost a week removed from the event. Tomorrow would be the week's anniversary. Kind of help me break down the competition, like how it went, all that stuff. July 4th is for you.
July 4th is awesome. It was hot out there. It was hot in New York. It was humid. But I got into a decent rhythm in the beginning. I was a sweaty mess, but I was able to keep eating. And I didn't break my record, but I tied it. And I thought I did pretty good. Second place was 16 hot dogs behind.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely.
I was hoping they would eat more. The more they eat, the more pressure I feel to eat more and to do better. But I definitely ate well that day, though.
So we'll get into some of like the pre and post competition routines here in a bit. But how did you feel when you woke up that day? Did you feel like it was going to be a potential record breaking day, or when you wake up for any competitive eating event, do you wake up some days and be like, today I'm going to get my eat on, or today might not be an average day?
I definitely woke up feeling light and loose. I only slept about 4.5 or 5 hours at night, and I was up moving and just ready and loose. I hydrated very well the day before, and then I stopped drinking water the day of the contest, and I felt really good.
So you mentioned it was another hot, humid, sunny day. When you're outside, because obviously some of these competitions aren't housed outside, is there a perfect outside weather day for you to compete in?
Yeah, there's always perfect weather, but it was. I'd be happy if it was like 75 with California style humidity, without humidity. But I can't be too picky. One thing about it is it's fair for everybody. Everybody's eating in the same weather. Everybody's eating the same hot dog.
Correct. Now, does eating in a day like July 4th weather-wise affect you at all during your event? Can it hinder the amount you can consume?
A little bit. It makes me slow down a little bit towards the end. I'm a sweaty mess. I know that I'm a little bit dehydrated, and I just run out of steam a little bit. But I think I really should have been able to push one more hot dog in me. I'm a little bit bummed out about that, but at least I tied the record. Joey
Chestnut joining me here on the show, winner of the Nathan's 4th of July hot dog eating contest, ate 68 dogs, tying his own personal record. And about 2 minutes into the eat, Joey, you had 3 or 4 dog buffer between you and second place. Do you have a plan to work while you're at a contest while it's going on?
Oh yeah, well, during the contest, there's two feelings I'm trying to ignore completely. I'm just trying to ignore the feeling of full and any feeling of pain. Other than that, my mind is all over the place. I'm just trying to control my breathing and keep my hands moving, and just keep whatever's going in my mouth going down. During that time, also, my little brother is right in front of me, yelling at me, telling me where everybody else is at. And so I'm aware of where everybody else is at. The judges in front of me. I can see on my left and right where the other eaters are, and I definitely knew that 5 minutes in, I was 5 or 6 hot dogs ahead, and they were slowing down, and then the last half of the contest is where I really created a gap.
Now, you mentioned the fighting that feeling of feeling full. I mean, 68 hot dogs, when does that happen? At like hot dog 8 or 10?
I could eat 30 hot dogs and be pretty happy. So the first 4 minutes of the contest, I'm a happy dude. I'm in a vicious rhythm, and it's fun. The first 4 or 5 minutes are fun. The second half of the contest, that's where it's real work. That's where my body's telling me things, and I'm ignoring it, and I know exactly what I'm capable of, and I have to do it.
Joey Chestnut joining me here on the show. All right, so we look at that back half of the competition. 6 minutes in, you're up by 10 dogs. You are, and I guess you said you were actively kind of watching the other judges and some of the others, so you know where they are. When you see that you're up by 10, are you necessarily concerned? Do you think that they're going to make a run at you and somehow catch up, or are you kind of pacing your own self at that point?
I'm facing myself. Going into the contest, I knew that if I got into a decent rhythm, that it was going to be a contest against myself. I'd be a contest trying to break the record, and I'd just be using whatever they did as motivation. And they're awesome. They're awesome eaters. This is the 4th of July. That's a contest I really train for. And there's other contests I do throughout the year. I have a bunch of contests, but none of them. I don't train for any of them the same way I do for 4th of July. And the other eaters know that. They know that I go to this contest accepting only one outcome. There's victory. And if I'm there, I'm there to win.
At the end of the competition, you eat 68 dogs in 10 minutes. You tie your own record, given the heat and the humidity. And look, I mean, 68 hot dogs sounds like a friggin' craziness. So was it at all a struggle to just get back to that 68? And is 68 kind of this weird glass ceiling that you might have hit in some regard?
I don't want to think that. I can't. I know I've broken the record in practice. I know I did one practice. I ate all the way to 74 hot dogs after 10 minutes. My body, last week I was proud to eat hot dogs and not only get them in, but get them down and digest them. And next year, I don't know exactly what I'll do different. I have a couple of ideas. I want to go into the contest a little bit lighter, healthier, so I don't slow down as much at the end. But the only way you can be a good competitive eater is by eating a lot. And it sounds funny, but so I have to keep the balance a little bit better next year, be a little bit healthier, but still maintain the ability to eat a ridiculous amount of food.
All right, so I'm getting a lot of questions here in my instant chat room, and the one that seems to repeat over and over again is how you actually go about training for this event. I know you were on the Jim Rome show last Tuesday leading up. You said that you had eaten 80 hot dogs, within a couple days' time prior to going in. What's the process like for you? How are you training to eat 68, 70, 80 dogs?
I compare it a lot to a marathon runner or possibly a bodybuilder. I get my body into a cycle where I'll do a practice contest, and after the contest, the day after, I'm immediately taking just protein supplements, and I'm on a liquid fast. I'm fasting for 3 days, getting ready for my next practice. And every time I do a practice, I try to eat a little bit more, and every time I get the food down and digest it, I know I can go up a little bit more the next time. I'm convincing my body it's all right, and I'm convinced I'm making those muscles stretch and become a little bit stronger, and getting my body used to digesting a little bit more every time. It sounds simple, and it is pretty simple. It's tough for any. It's work. Those 3 days when I'm fasting, I feel like garbage, and the day after the contest, I feel like garbage. So it's easy for other eaters to try to find an easy way to do it, but it's if you're gonna do this. I mean, if I'm gonna do this contest, I'm committed to being the best I can be. Might as well put some work.
All right. So the other question that keeps coming up is, after the event is done, are there people running right away to offload, or are you digesting, the 20,000 calories or whatever it is, and how much weight are you putting on during the course of an eat?
Oh yeah, I'm digesting it. It's very rare for me to get sick. I'll get sick. There's a couple of reasons why I might get sick if I'm not familiar with the food and I haven't digested that much food before. And that's not a problem with hot dogs. My body feels comfortable with them and digest them. But the other reason is if I'm too dehydrated, then my body just can't doesn't have enough liquids in it to digest the food. And that I might get sick like 3 hours later. There might be something not digesting. But this contest, I was hydrated, and my body was used to digesting the food. And I know the next year, hopefully, I just need to control my body a little bit better. You're right. There are eaters that as soon as they can, they let loose. And I know they're there. They know I know that they do it, and I know they're never going to beat me. Also, they know that also. So it's the person who can't control their body is definitely out there, and I kind of laugh at them. I kind of laugh that they're trying to keep up with me. They push themselves to that breaking point.
To put in your request for a future show, please contact Jon Solberg via email at Jon, Jon, at the BBQCentralShow.com.
For the people that don't know Dave Bosca, and this would probably be more towards the people that are going to pick this up on podcasts and they're just kind of periphery fans of the show and of barbecue and grilling, what's the background in the beef business with Dave Bosca?
I've been in the meat business just 30 years, just a hair over 30 years. I started out in a little bitty small mom and pa retail meat market grocery store. I had a 70-year-old man teach me how to cut hanging beef back when I was 15 years old. And I literally fell in love with cutting the meat, packaging it, making sure it was right, and doing everything I could do to sell it in the time frame that the meat allowed. I grew from there. I started cutting meat in chain stores around Oklahoma, become a market manager. I went on to national large warehouse food chains. I was with Sam's Club. When I started with Sam's Club, there was 14 meat markets in the company. I grew from there. I went to the East Coast. I lived in New England for a while, opened up, 20, 25 different Sam's Clubs up there, traveled all around over there, came back to Oklahoma, stayed with Sam's for a long time, did some more traveling in different states for them. And finally, I was getting tired of the corporate world and doing all that, so I went back to work in a little bitty grocery store, and finally decided to open up my own place, and I've been doing that ever since.
Is this the best time that you've had doing it, or did you kind of enjoy each position that you were at, each station you were at?
I love every bit I've done my whole life. There is not another job I want or have regret I have never taken. I love cutting meat. I get up at 6 o'clock. I go to work every morning for myself. My son now works with me in the meat shop, and I absolutely love educating people that we go out and still do the farm kill. We bring it back, we hang it up, educate people on how all that works. There's nothing I'd rather be doing right now.
Dave Bosca joining me here on the show. ButcherBBQ.com is the website if you want to check it out and grab some of his injections, sauces, rubs, marinades. You got that grill product, absolutely fantastic. You know, Dave, one of the things that I've heard recently, especially over the last couple of years, is this whole trend of artisan beef. Like I said, it's gained some recent popularity. And I guess what I mean by that, from birth to slaughter, knowing where your beef comes from, what kind of, almost like wines and vintages. Have you noticed an increase of this kind of thing or this kind of interest from people as they're coming into the market? Are people asking you, where did this cut come from, and what was it fed on, and how is this going to taste, and blah, blah, blah?
I would say there's been an increase in folks wanting the what you would call artisan beef, or what been also coined as natural, to where people can know it's not, doesn't have anything hormones in it, all the way from the feed that it ate, all that. But the problem with that is people don't want to pay for it. Where these feedlots can feed thousands, hundreds of thousands of beef and buy it, train loads of food, and the small producer cannot do that. They cannot raise five for, they can raise five, but it's going to be the same cost. They can raise 100 for the same cost of five. So it's going to cost a lot. And the end users right now, we're not willing to pay for that luxury. I don't think there's as many as what the public newspapers and news media is out there to be.
I don't know if people want to know about this or not, but I do. And I don't know how many people think about it, and I would imagine you've seen this quite a bit through the years in the business. If you could, kind of take us through a slaughter process. What kind of conditions have you seen? Have you seen tremendously bad conditions? Have you seen any type of reform or legislation that has been passed to make sure that these areas are, clean and sterile? What have you seen, and what kind of an environment are we working in today?
Okay, overall, this is the best conditions in the world is what's going on right now. Just like everything else out there right now, it's more people are in this, and the governing agencies that oversee us are being ran by the government. They're understaffed, and they're giving 3 and 4 times more plants to go visit and to look at than what they did 15, 20 years ago. So it's just like everything else. Conditions drop when you don't have an oversight committee to tell you to pick that up, put that away. It just becomes natural to let it slide. And then that's what ends up becoming in the mass media. That's what everybody hears about. But for the most part, owners of the small plants like myself have personal pride in what they do and what they turn out. The conditions are generally always good. To walk you through the kill, there's kill floors that farmers can bring their animals in. They can set them up in pens, and then we run them in one at a time. And some guys use a stun gun on the smaller animals, the hogs and stuff. Some guys will use a gun. We still use a 22 mag on ours. Some folks have blank shots that come out of it shoots a metal rod out, just enters them and come back retracts back in.
And then are you doing that like in the brain stem or in the head, or like where are you shooting them at?
You actually shoot them between the eyes, about 3/4 inch up.
Wow.
My plant, we don't have a kill floor. We still do the farm kill. We have a big gooseneck truck, and we schedule them out. I've got animals scheduled for this whole year, and then about 50 animals scheduled for next year already. And we still go out to the farm. We kill them on the farm. We skin them, gut them, hang them up, quarter them, roll them in the truck, and then load up all the non-essentials, all the offals, bring everything back to my plant, and start rolling them in the cooler, weighing them, rolling them in the cooler, and start letting them age.
All right, so at this point, it's probably like no big deal. You do it every day like you eat chips and drink Coca-Cola. Was there a point at some point where it was a little awkward for you to off the cow, or it didn't matter?
No, heck, I can sit on dead cow and eat dinner. That doesn't make any difference.
And there you have it from July 10th in 2012. Joey Chestnut, competitive eater. David Bosca, Butcher's Barbecue. If you'd like to hear the rest of this episode, head on over to thebbqcentralshow.com. Look under the Best Moments Archive tab. The link to the full episode will be in the show notes for you right there. While you're there, if you haven't done so already, subscribe to the Barbecue Central Show via podcast. Never miss an episode of that show or this show again. Until next time, on the Best Moments of the Barbecue Central Show in 10 minutes or less, I'm your host, Jon Solberg. I look forward to talking to you again soon.